Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rising Tides. My name is Andres Ballesteros, and I'm the Executive Director of Eureka Ensemble. At Eureka Ensemble, our mission is to nurture social impact through music. And tonight we hope to do that by highlighting the local impacts of climate change and centering the voices of young artists in the city. So tonight is actually a preview of Rising Tides. You will be able to catch the full event next week on Friday, April 30th at 7 p.m. It will be streaming live on Facebook. You can find more information by following us there or by visiting our website at eurekaensemble.org. And both at tonight's preview and at next week's event, we are featuring new original songs written by our Rising Tides Fellows. We have worked with 4 young artists, Erin Vidalla, Angelina Botticelli, Rivera, and Travis Ambrose, to create new songs that deal with the local impacts of climate change. And they have each been paired with a climate expert, a professor at the School for the Environment at UMass Boston. So thank you to the School for the Environment for making this program possible. We'd also like to thank the City of Cambridge, the Cambridge Arts Council, and the Massachusetts Cultural Council for their support of this project. Now, without further ado, Rising Tides.
My name is Erin Vidalla, and I go to Berkeley College of Music, which is in the Back Bay area, but I live in Roslindale. This process has been really special for me. I feel like I've learned a lot from my mentor, Georgia Mavramati, and it really helped me create a song that I feel proud of. I learned a lot about climate change from her, but more importantly, the emotional discussion about what it means to be afraid as a young person when climate change is so scary. She gave the metaphor of a car crash, and that even if you know you're going to get into a car crash, you still hit the brakes to make the accident not as bad as it would have been. And that helped me understand that hope is still possible in a bleak situation. And that's what I tried to communicate in my song. Seasonal Fears is the name, and it's about our fears about climate change and how they can actually inspire us to fight. So one of the lyrics in the song is, "The river underneath my house won't take us away. When it floods, we'll just be left here to pick up the pieces." And that to me is the essence of the song, that we're still going to be here after our houses flood, after Boston is changed. And so we have to do everything we can to fight. And that's inspiring to me. My hope when people hear the song that I wrote is that they might be driven to engage in movements that are talking about structural change. And I don't say that very articulately and specifically in the lyrics of the song. So allow this sentence right now to be a part of that message, saying, this is structural. And I think that the more we understand that and talk about coming together to fight that structure, the better chance we have. This is a collective issue that we're facing, and it's an intersectional issue. We have to think about racism, we have to think about class and the disparities. Obviously, climate change is going to affect the richest and most privileged people last, and we have to be thinking about our communities and fighting for our communities as people who can work together and create collective action against oppressive forces. And that art is really powerful in that, because it brings people together. It expresses emotions that are complex, as these issues are, and bringing people together is one of the most important things when what we're facing is as significant as it is.
Seasonal fear, just a piece of the blues nature allows us to hear. Sudden changes, stars won't save us. Seasonal rains aren't only the way things always have gone. They also symbolize pain. It's almost a dream how the metaphor dawned. Tears through sunlight, a gift to watch the sunlight. I feel it on
My name is Danny Rivera. I am a resident of Mattapan in the city of Boston, but attend school in Cambridge, the Laundry School of Bard College. The song that I wrote called Mess That I Made really highlights this relationship between the human and the human experience and the earth, and how at times we as humans can be in this constant state of denial to the fact that we have not been good stewards over what Mother Nature has availed to us. And so there are a number of questions that are posed or asked throughout the song, coming from the humans, the politicians, the pastors, the leaders, the teachers, the educators, all of the people in society, asking kind of ourselves, but also the earth, is it time for us to move in the right direction? And that's part of that denial that we must combat. I often find myself asking the same questions, and in this time of reckoning and really meditation and remembrance in a number of different areas of our society, it's equally just as important for us to ask ourselves these questions and to really not just ask the question, but come up with an answer. So there's not an answer at the end of the song. That's for us to do in our own time as we reflect on the questions. And so it was great to be able to have a little mini masterclass with Michael, and really to learn about all of the work that Michael and the rest of the team at UMass are doing to not just tackle climate change and the climate crisis on a national level or international level, but even on a local level. What an awakening it was to be able to understand the full depth of this impact in our local neighborhood. So I think that was something that was really meaningful to me, and has really influenced even the decisions that I choose to make, with even putting certain things in the right places, or putting a can in the recycling bin rather than in the garbage can, or telling my neighbor or community member, don't litter, right? Like even those small things I'm realizing are making a difference and change in community, because I see the impact that this is having, even amongst the people closest to me. Nina Simone says it best, that it is the artist's duty to reflect the times in which we live. And so what a better opportunity than for us to gather under these circumstances and under this atmosphere of creativity and knowledge, to really understand the full depth of this impact and what we have the possibility to do as a community to take care of the earth and to take care of one another. So much gratitude and appreciation to the UMass Boston School of the Environment, the City of Cambridge, and the Cambridge Arts Council, as well as the Mass Cultural Council, for being committed to the work of art and impact and the everyday shenanigans of what that looks like, right? We know that it's been a process to get to this point, but in so many ways it was worth it. So thank you for your support, and to Rising Tides and everyone on the team for really sticking this through and supporting me as well as the other artists throughout this whole process. It's worth it, and I'm super excited for the impact that this will have in our community.
Tell me when to lose my grip when it's almost done. Find me in my innocence, find me in the dust. Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Am I willing to give up? No, I'm not willing. So dealing with the mess that I made. Mess that I made. Clean it up, the mess I made. Let me know when it's done, when it's safe. Is it worth enough to measure up?
My name is Angelina Botticelli, and I live in East Boston, Massachusetts. My song is called Consciousness Rising, and it's really about regaining our awareness of where we come from, which is the earth, and what the earth is going through right now, specifically relating to East Boston and how we're uniquely impacted by climate change and the rising sea levels. Being an urban coastal community, I live right by the beach, and in my second line of my song, I literally say, like, so close, I'm walking to the beach, because I live right next to it. So I just started to really understand throughout this process of writing what's going on and how I can communicate that through a song. Working with Bob Chen, a fantastic UMass professor, an amazing urban oceanographer, all around fantastic environmentalist, truly made this project what it ultimately ended up becoming. Just completely broke down any of the barriers I had put up around letting myself be vulnerable enough as a citizen to learn about these issues. And he made them more approachable for me. And he just helped me really get a deeper understanding on specifically what's going on in East Boston, and also how I'm impacted just by living on the Boston Harbor, because all of Boston is connected through the Boston Harbor. And he's in such a unique position at UMass. He knows so much about it being right on the water, that he was able to share a lot of information with me about literally what's happening in the water and how the water is rising. And he's the one that told me about something that I mentioned in my song, which is that East Boston used to be 5 islands, and now we're all connected as one because of landfill. So over the course of about 200 years, landfill filled the ocean, expanded the shorelines, and I saw a map, and my house is actually on original land from like the 1600s, but not too far away from me. And in most of the places I grew up, it's landfill. So we're the first to flood. It's the most vulnerable at sea level rise, because when the landfill filled, it only went up to the shoreline. So it didn't account for the rising tides to be coming in and how high they're expected to rise with climate change. And you'll notice in the intro to Consciousness Rising is an amazing voice memo that I was able to capture through another incredible conversation I had with the executive director of a local organization in East Boston called the Harbor Keepers. Their mission is to build community coastal resiliency, and to raise awareness and to raise consciousness on how East Boston and also Chelsea are impacted by the rising tides and climate change as an urban coastal community. So the voice that you hear is the fabulous Magdalena Ayad, and she has just completely opened people's eyes that live along the Boston Harbor in East Boston on why it's important to have a vested interest in the health of our planet and how that impacts the amazing views and ocean we're able to enjoy every day. Art in all different ways can be a powerful, powerful vessel to send these incredibly important messages. We all feel so much about what's going on in our world in different ways, the layers to that. Channel that through creativity, because it will open the door to your heart and your spirit will speak.
Community right by the sea, so close I'm walking to the beach. Collectively we are 5 islands that once were separate at sea. But then the shore became a street, and people built to meet their needs. Society's own expectations disregard Earth's abilities. For so long we've been living this way, safe every day, used to the way things are the same. But it's not staying that way. Climate has changed, it's making waves. There's so much at stake, but don't be afraid. I'll meet you on the Mew Greenway. Okay. We can talk for hours till the sun sets, babe. Worried about what's on the horizon. The water is rising, but it'll be okay. As long as we're realistic about our ways. It all starts with sustainability. Learning about what's on the horizon. Our consciousness rising.
it's important for everyone to realize, people that live in the city, that it's the Atlantic Ocean that is washing up on our shores, that the climate is changing, sea